Hello everyone, welcome to the Sweet Source Canada YouTube channel. My name is Tristan, and today we're going to be doing an introduction to my 1987 SAAB 900 SPG. Always love it, starting up a 900. Even one like this that needs some love. Alright everyone, so this is introducing my 87 900 SPG. Now, the story of how I got this car, a good friend of mine had this car listed for sale last year, and kind of just tried to convince him to keep it, but I think it was a bit too much of a project for him. This was his first car, so out of respect to him, I decided to go get it and go ahead and restore this car myself. So I do have a certain standard I want to bring this car up to. I will be bringing it to a body shop to get all the work that needs to be done in this car done, and then mechanical, I'll try to do what I can myself, and then go ahead and have any other mechanical work that needs to be done at our local SAAB and Volvo Indy. So let's begin with what's needed to be done on this thing, because there is a bit of a laundry list, let's put it that way. So to begin, rust. Okay, there is quite a lot of rust on this vehicle, and luckily when it comes to the actual frame and the frame rails of the vehicle, they're actually decent, they're okay, and they're very safeable. But the floors are borderline Fred Flintstone. There's no major holes yet, but the floor is so rotted up here in the front. The rear floor is okay, but probably still get those done anyways while it's there, and the trunk floor is just rotted as well. There's holes in there too. So this car needs floors pretty urgently. Otherwise, I believe the axle tunnels also need work, so there's that too. And then all the fenders are rusted. So front fenders, the rear fenders all have a rust on them. They need to be addressed. There's also underneath the windshield a pretty large spot of rust, and then small little spots here and there, like in the doors, stuff like that, that all need to be addressed. This car also has some more stuff to do, like paintwork. The hood and roof have faded clear coat. Can it be saved? I'm not sure, but we're gonna see what that. We're gonna see what is involved in that. But when it comes to the paint work, that has to be done as well. So this car does need a fair amount of body work to actually be roadworthy, in my opinion, because this car is probably not one I would take on a long drive for a few reasons. But all that will need to be done for this car to become roadworthy. And another thing, this car, like I said, has a few issues, and you can see me taking off slowly. Now this, I'm gonna get to the mechanical issues now. Now, the transmission of this car, while good, it does pop out of first gear. Now it doesn't pop out on normal circumstances, but if you go ahead and take off normally like you would in a manual transmission car, you lift up your clutch, you give a bit of gas, and take off relatively quickly, it'll pop out of gear. So it's almost like as if, like I'm hoping a transmission oil change and the transmission mount, the circular mount in front of the gearbox, is the fault for this. Now, it's hard for me to actually inspect that mount, but it does look pretty rusty, and the rubber doesn't look great, so I have one of those on order. So that's going to be in order as well, is to change transmission fluid and change that mount. But you can see if I take off easy, it won't pop out of gear. So that's nice too. Otherwise, the rest of the transmission drives amazing, and that is a 740. That is nice. It's a nice 740 wagon. I don't know if I was able to catch that on camera, but we just drove by it. It looks amazing. Anyways, I had to give him a little thumbs up too. So apart from that, the car actually rides pretty good. The transmission problem is definitely a worry. I'm hoping it's not an internal problem with the transmission. Can that be possible? Maybe. But I know that this problem was pretty recent for him, so I'm not too concerned. But I believe that the oil is at the right level, but it does look dirty, so I believe a transmission fluid replacement, so putting some fresh 10W30 Castrol in there, and changing that mount will make a world of difference. And even the motor mounts too might be worth changing those, because those will be needed too. If the front mount is bad, those are likely on the way out too. So we're gonna get to that too. Another thing, and probably one of the biggest reasons why I can't really drive this car anywhere, is the radiator has a pinhole leak in it, and it's enough to lose pretty much all your coolant when the car gets to operating temperature. It's enough to lose pretty much all your coolant in about 5 to 10 minutes. Now this is pretty concerning, obviously. I have a good used rad at home, so that's going to be going into this car. Instead of a brand new rad, we're going to start with just a used rad on this car just to get it operational. Apart from that though, the car does pull very well, and I'm not too concerned with the health of the engine. It is a bit loud, but it does sound good, so I'm not too worried about the health of the engine. It does have low mileage though. I mean, you're looking at 178k on this car. And it does drive pretty decent despite everything that's going on with it. It's also got flat spotted tires, so even when these tires are filled up and at the proper pressure, when you are on the highway you do feel a vibration to the tires. I really don't think it's the wheels. To bend these wheels is not really easy. SPG wheels are pretty strong and heavy, and they have a lot of tire between them and the road. So to bend one of these wheels, while in Montreal I do believe anything's possible with these roads, I don't believe a wheel is bent. I do believe the tires are flat spotted. I think this car was sitting in his garage for a while with flat spotted tires. So that's something that, with flat tires. And that's something that of course damages the inner structure of the tire, and that makes it not really truly round even when you fill it, which is where you get your vibrations from. So new tires are in order, even though these tires are actually okay tread-wise. They're actually good tread-wise. They're a good brand. They're General Tires. And not just that, but they are even a good date. I think they're 2019 manufactured tires, so they're still a good date. But the good of this car, like obviously it's an SPG, and I truly believe all SPGs are worth saving. It's got almost a complete SPG kit. It's missing some of the arches, I think 3 arches. So either I'll have those custom fabricated, full set of 4, or I'll just source a used set of SPG trims. But that will be done too. Apart from that, you got your typical dash cracks. I'm kind of having this vision to pull out the dash and either have it restored or restore it myself on the channel. So I'm kind of thinking that the glove box door also is becoming undone. So whether I reupholster that or I will get a new door will be up for contention. It's got a couple of cracks, not cracks, but chips in the windshield I want to deal with before they turn into cracks. So that's all gonna get done too. And as you can see, through the whole video, I have a plastic wrap covering the sunroof. There is a leak. The sunroof does need to be adjusted. It's not adjusted well. The seals are not doing their jobs, and the drains are probably clogged. In typical 900 fashion, or typical Swedish car fashion, the drains typically get clogged pretty easily on these cars. So I'm gonna have to get that done as well. Adjust the sunroof and all that stuff, and clear out the drains. So that's all gonna be done. But apart from that, the clutch does make a funny noise when you press it. So I'm believing either there's air in the system somewhere, either that or there's something else going on. So I'm wondering if it's like a slave cylinder issue or a master cylinder issue. I believe the master was changed on this car at some point recently, so maybe it's not that, but it's something we'll have to look into for sure. But apart from that, the transmission shifts into every gear smoothly. Even reverse is nice and smooth in this car, and there's a lot of potential. The handbrake worked in this car. Well, it worked last year. I tried pulling it up recently, and it's a little bit stiff, so we're gonna see what we can do there. And of course, being an 87, the handbrake activates the front wheels, so that's something. The front calipers, when you reverse, they do clunk a little bit, and that's a typical 87 and below problem with these front acting handbrakes. So that's something I'm gonna have to address too. Apart from that though, like I said, it's an SPG, so it's worth saving. And not just that, but the engine pulls really well. I bought it from a trustworthy person, so all these things make me worry a lot less about this car. So it's not worth parting out to me. I think it's definitely worth trying to fix this car. So that's what I'm going to be doing with it. So apart from that, that's pretty much almost everything. Of course, as we're digging into this car, we're going to find more and more. It's only normal. So we're gonna end up finding probably more little things, but I do intend on getting this car fully mechanically restored. It's missing the AC compressor, so maybe popping in an AC compressor in there. Maybe not running the AC yet, maybe leave it for the next owner to do that or something. But at least get this car running properly. Getting the windows to work. This window doesn't work anymore. That one works, but not well. So getting everything re-greased, whatever it takes. I want to get this car fully restored. So the next owner, because I did want to keep this car, but I also don't really have the capabilities of keeping it. So while I would really love to keep it and have 2 SPGs under my roof, well, under mine, and my dad has one too, but having 2 of mine, I don't really have the time for both of them. So I was planning on restoring this car and finding it a new home. Of course, the first dibs would go to the previous owner. It is his first car, like I said, a good friend of mine, so he would have first dibs. But apart from that, just finding it a good home where someone can enjoy it and use it every day, or every day in the summer, would be fantastic. So that's my goal with this car. I will get into it more soon, but for the time being, guys, that is pretty much my intro for this car. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and any comments, anything you guys do, it's always greatly appreciated. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, have a great day. Goodbye.